So how do we define leadership? Let's get some understanding of what this is. We've got a bunch of words up there. And I used to define leadership as the ability to influence others towards a goal or an objective with voluntary support. That's how I used to define it. The ability to influence others towards a goal or an objective with voluntary support. And about 6 or 8 months ago, with my team, we're sitting there talking and we're working on a few things. And at about the same time, I got an email from Alice and Laura saying they wanted to do this workshop. They wanted to get something different in here and talk about relationships. I'm like, really? That's interesting. Because my new definition of leadership is the ability to build relationships so that we can achieve our goals together. The ability to build relationships. And again, the problem, the difficulty, the challenge for most of us is experience alone is a horrible teacher. We've got the wrong grip, and we need to figure out how to build relationships because we do it unconsciously. We do it out of habit. We do it by rote. And we keep doing it over and over again and find ourselves in difficult situations, difficult relationships. I think there's a better way. Are you interested? Just go like this. Yes. Just quiet, not too loud. Don't get too excited about building positive, interdependent, strong relationships. Don't want to get too excited. So, here's the problem. In most cases, according to a lot of research, people don't leave companies, they leave their boss. Here's why they leave their boss, and here's what the problem is with managers and leaders. Here's what the problem is. Is there anybody in here that had an appendectomy? Anybody that would like to admit that they had an appendectomy? We got one happened at two. All right, we got a couple people that had appendectomy. Did you do it to yourself? Why not? It would be a little painful, right? We'll give you some local anesthesia. You know, I'm just curious. Is it the right side or the left side? Left side. Okay, it's the left side. And you didn't just sit at home and go, oh, I know what to do. We need to take this out. Right? You have an inflamed appendix. What do? You take it out. Everybody knows that, right? Well, you know what to do. Why didn't you just take it out? Because you don't know how. Leadership is the same thing. We know what to do. We all know what to do. We can philosophically talk about this till we're blue in the face. You don't know how. And your spouse probably doesn't either if your spouse isn't a surgeon. Would you hand your spouse the scalpel and say, listen, I'm going to drink a couple of, hard things of whiskey. Go at it, babe. Take it out. Because we know what to do. And yet, every single day, we put people in leadership and management positions that have not been trained, that have not been taught how to be effective leaders, that don't have the right grip. And they are affecting individuals in your organizations the same way as an unskilled surgeon would be trying to take out your appendix. The same exact way. The problem is, it's not as visible. You don't see it. But this is really what got me excited. Yes, my mission is to make good bosses into great leaders. But what got me excited about this is I want to get rid of bad bosses. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Gallup says 82% of the time we pick the wrong person to be in charge. 82% of the time. That means we get it right 1 in 6, 18%. And yet all the research says about 30% could do a pretty good job of managing and leading, and 10% will do a great job. 30%, you would do better to pick a name out of a hat in your department. And in fact, if you have 10 people in a room that are working together, you've got one person in there that should be the manager, and it's probably not the manager. According to the research, it's probably not the manager. And you know what? It's not the manager's fault. It's because we continue to hit the 2-year-old. We continue to use the wrong grip because we don't understand the options that we have to develop leaders and to train people to be more effective and more efficient at what they do in leadership and management. Do you know that when people leave a company, it costs you 150% to 450% of their annual salary every time you have to replace somebody? 1.5 to 4.5 times their salary. The higher they are in an organization, the more it costs you, and the multiplier is higher. And yet, we continue to do the same thing because it's not visible.